Hello everyone, this is part 27 of What If Naruto's Mother Was Tsunade Senju, and I hope you guys enjoy this video and to like, to subscribe, and check out the playlist, to see more comment down below. Now let's start the intro.
They call me a god. They call me a god. They call me a god.
In the arena, after a few minutes, Yugito eventually got over her shock over Naruto finding a way to mimic the Hyuga clan's Kaiten and decided to focus on the match and put what happened aside for now. Readying herself, Yugito fell into a standard Kenjutsu stance and channeled her chakra into her katana and used her fire affinity to convert it into fire, turning her katana into a flaming sword. Once flames were covering the blade, Yugito raced forward and attacked Naruto, who quickly moved away to avoid it. Shit. Not good. If I try to block that with my katana, I'm likely to get burned by the flames, Naruto thought as he dodged another slash which singed his sleeve slightly. After dodging several more slashes from Yugito's flame sword, Naruto used his high water affinity to gather a large amount of water from a nearby tree, since it takes him longer for him to draw it from the air than plants, and covered his sword with it. Once the water covered his katana, Naruto then brought up his blade to block a downward slash from Yugito. When the two swords clashed, the flames around Yugito's katana were almost instantly extinguished by the water covering Naruto's sword. Surprised by what happened, Yugito was caught completely off guard and did not see the incoming attack from Naruto, who took advantage of her distraction and delivered a sharp kick to her stomach, sending her skidding back across the ground a few meters. Yugito recovered quickly though and picked up several shuriken as she skidding on the ground and threw them at the spiky-haired boy. This distracted Naruto long enough for her to channel more chakra into her katana, only this time she converted her chakra into lightning. After which she then went back on the defensive. When Naruto saw this, he immediately went of the defensive again and started to dodge Yugito's attack. Knowing that if he tried to block Yugito's attacks, her sword would cut through his like a hot knife through butter. As soon he had avoided another slash, Naruto began to gather his chakra and channel it into his sword. Once he was ready, he brought up his katana again to deflect an electrified sword strike that would have hit his right arm. After deflecting the strike, Naruto then swung his katana at Yugito, who skillfully evaded the slash by jumping to the left. But as she turned to face Naruto, she felt the trickle of blood fall down her right cheek, indicating that he had been cut slightly. What the hell? But I avoided the slash, how did he? Yugito thought, but before she could finish, Naruto raced towards her with his katana. With no time to spare, the blonde girl quickly brought her katana up to block Naruto's slash. But when their swords made contact, Naruto's katana cut right through Yugito's, leaving the girl holding a stump of a sword. Once he had sliced through Yugito's katana, Naruto quickly followed up with sharp kick to the side, luckily though it wasn't the side with the broken ribs. But it still hurt nonetheless and sent the girl skidding across the ground several meters away from Naruto. As soon as she had stopped skidding, Yugito stared at Naruto and then at her sword before throwing it away. Wind chakra, you coated your katana with wind chakra, that's the only possible explanation for you being able to cut through my lightning-enhanced katana so easily. Hey, yeah, you got it, Naruto replied with a confident smirk as he held up his chakra-covered sword. I used the Hine no Jutsu, flying swallow technique, and coated my katana with wind chakra, since lightning is weak against wind. It's not as simple as he makes it out, kitten. Just before he swung his blade at you, he channeled an even larger amount of wind chakra to his blade, where it then overpowered your lightning. I know, replied Yugito, that's the only way he could have cut through my katana so easily, even though lightning is weak against wind. His blade should not have cut through mine as easily as it did. But what I don't understand is how does he have so much chakra? Even with his high chakra control, he should be exhausted by now. Yet he looks fine and ready to continue fighting. If I didn't know any better, I would swear that Naruto was a Jinchuriki like me. It's the only way I can think of how someone like him could have so much chakra and last so long against me. I don't see how that's possible, kitten, since if he was a Jinchuriki, I would have sensed it. Not to mention the only Biju that Konoha has is the Kyuubi, and there's no way that Hachibi or I could have missed his power, and if Shukaku had sensed the Kyuubi, then his host would have gone berserk and would have tried to kill your boyfriend on the spot, regardless of what would happen to him later. Why's that? Yugito asked, while at the same time ignoring how the Nibi called Naruto her boyfriend. To put a long story short, Shukaku hates the Kyuubi because he views our strength by the number of tails we have, and because of that he views Shukaku as the weakest of all of us, the Nibi answered. Who didn't have much love for the demon fox either, given how he didn't treat her that much better. Besides, there are a few humans who are born with immense reserves of chakra. Look at the Sandaime and the Yondaime Raikages. They weren't Jinchuriki, but they had chakra reverse that could give us Biju a run for our money. I see, I guess you're right, but still, it's strange that Naruto has all that chakra and has such high control over it at the same time. Trust me, kitten, nothing surprises me when it comes to this family of shinobi, although I will admit that this boy's chakra does give off an odd feeling, not unlike his ancestor the Shodai Hokage. But then again, that could be just because they are related, since people who are related share similar chakra signatures. Nodding to this, Yugito slowly turned her attention back on Naruto, where she reached behind her back and then took out something from her pouch. Unsure of what she took out, Naruto decided to act first and race towards Yugito so not to give her any time to do what she was planning. But what Naruto didn't know was that by racing towards her, he was doing exactly what the blonde girl wanted him to do. Once he was close enough, Yugito smashed the small spheres she had in her hands onto the ground, revealing them to be smoke and flash bombs. After the bombs broke, a large flash erupted, blinding the young Senju, followed by much of the area around Naruto being covered in a thick smoke. When Naruto emerged out of the smoke, he immediately found himself under attack by several kunai and shuriken, which had been infused with lightning chakra, increasing their sharpness and reach. Acting quickly, Naruto was able to evade them, but not completely, where he received several light cuts on his arms and legs. After avoiding the lightning-enhanced projectiles, Naruto scanned the arena for any sign of Yugito, who he soon found when he saw a fast-moving blur at the corner of his left eye and turned to block a powerful kunai strike from the blonde female. As Naruto struggled to hold the elder girl off, he noticed that Yugito was smirking. Not liking the way Yugito was smirking, Naruto used the flat side of his sword like a mirror to see behind him and saw another Yugito racing towards him from behind with both her hands in claw form. With little time to spare, Naruto waited until the last second to push the other Yugito away, then jumped to the left to avoid the second Yugito slash. After landing back on the ground, Naruto turned to face the two Yugitos. Not good. Yugito-chan used the Raiten, Cage Bunshin, lighting style, shadow clone technique, and if I hit the clone, I get electrocuted once the clone reverts into lightning. As Naruto tried to think of a way to tell Yugito and her clone apart, the two Yugitos raced forward, one with a lightning-enhanced kunai and another with long claw-like nails. For several minutes Naruto tried to think of a way to try and find out which Yugito was the real one, while at the same time doing his best to block and avoid the two Yugito's attacks. After ducking under a claw swipe from the second Yugito and maneuvering around her, Naruto noticed that she flinched slightly in pain as she turned around on her right side. Seeing this, Naruto smirked, as he figured out which one was the real Yugito, since clones would not be affected by injuries that their creators had when they created them. Now that he knew which one was the real one, Naruto waited for the two to attack. He of course did not have to wait very long, as the clone Yugito did a few quick hand seals and spat out 3 flaming hairballs, which Naruto countered by using Teppadama and spat 3 glops of water from his mouth. When the flames were extinguished, Naruto then used his katana to deal with the hairballs which were still flying towards him, cutting them all in two with little trouble. But as soon as Naruto had dealt with the hairballs, the real Yugito appeared on his left-hand side and tried to slash his arm, only to miss as Naruto jumped into the air, where he then tossed his katana up into the air and then yelled, "Okaru Mizu, falling water," as he kicked base of the hilt with his foot, sending it flying towards the Yugito clone and stabbing it right in its chest, causing it to revert into lightning. 4. After dealing with the lightning clone, Naruto then did a mid-air flip and preformed his mother's classic Chutenkyaku, Heavenly Foot of Pain, down on Yugito, who barely managed to avoid the kick, but was still blasted away to the other end of the arena by the tremendous power of Naruto's attack, which created a large crater in the arena when his heel hit the ground. Damn, that kid's strength is something else, Genma thought as he watched what happened from a safe distance. Shit, that was too close, I almost forgot how strong Naruto really is. If that kick had hit me, it could have killed me, the young girl thought as she picked herself up. Once both genin were back on their feet, Yugito slowly walked closer to Naruto, who also did the same. When they stopped, they were in the center of the arena again, with 6 meters between them. As soon as they were facing one another, Yugito suddenly spoke up. Given we're both without weapons now, how about we test our hand-to-hand skills against one another? At hearing this, Naruto frowned slightly. What's she up to? She knows that in hand-to-hand, I have the advantage with my immense strength. Either she has improved a lot since then or she is up to something. But I guess there is only one way to find out. Sure, why not? It's your funeral, since if memory serves, I usually kicked your butt. Hey, we'll see about that, the blonde girl retorted with a cat-like grin. Looks like things are about to heat up again, Genma thought, as he eyed the two blondes carefully. Enter Naruto Shippuden OST-18 Emergence of Talents. For several minutes Naruto and Yugito just stared at one another, as if they were having a private conversation that no one could hear and went beyond simply words. Eventually though, Naruto made the first move where he removed his tattered coat and cast it off into the air, where it blew away to the other end of the arena by a strong wind that suddenly erupted. After Naruto threw away his coat, Yugito began to channel chakra into her nails on both her hands and her feet, turning them into long claws. At the same time Naruto began to crack his knuckles and his neck, so to loosen himself up. Once her nails were at their full length, Yugito fell into a loose fighting stance, with her left foot and hand forward and her right hand and foot back, with her claws facing outward. Naruto in turn took a firm fighting stance with his left leg forward and his right leg back slightly and his arms close to one another, which would allow him to react to any move quickly. For another minute or so the two just stared each other down, to see who would attack first. From his vantage point on the other end of the arena, Genma watched the two genin stare each other down. The tension in the air was so thick that one could cut it with a knife. After a moment more of staring at one another, the two blonde genin suddenly broke at almost exactly the same time and raced towards each other with phenomenal speed and within seconds restarted their battle. Once they reached each other, Naruto made the first move where he attacked with a series of lightning-fast jabs, which Yugito skillfully evaded before performing a perfect backwards somersault away from Naruto. Seeing that Yugito was trying to move away from him, Naruto pursued his fellow blonde and tried to hit her using his Uzahando whirling kick 5. But missed when Yugito jumped into the air, where she then kicked Naruto in the back of the head when she flipped over him, sending him flying forward. Recovering quickly, Naruto spun around and ran towards the blonde girl and tried to hit her with an elbow strike to the head, which she blocked with her left arm. After which Naruto used his Kaiten Haiji spinning elbow technique to spin around behind Yugito and elbow her in the back of head, nearly knocking her out. 6. After Naruto elbowed her in the back of the head, Yugito quickly rolled forward and spun around to face the Senju heir, who was running towards her and tried to hit her with a supercharged punch. But before his punch could make contact, Yugito ducked under it and performed a powerful upward kick to his chin, sending him up into the air. After Yugito kicked him, Naruto immediately regained control of himself and landed back on his feet. But as soon as he did, Yugito sprang forward and started attacking him with several high-speed jabs to the face. Thanks to his mother's bombardment training, Naruto was easily able to evade these jabs, but they were made difficult due to Yugito's long sharp nails. Eventually Yugito was able to scratch Naruto on his left cheek with her claws. This distracted him long enough for her to bring her left leg up and yell, Nekokyaku cat kick, as she tried to kick him in the side of the head. When Naruto saw the kick, he barely managed to avoid it by ducking under it, where he then attempted to kick her legs out from under her with a leg swipe, but missed when she jumped into the air. Once Naruto was back on his feet, Yugito used her Nekozume cat claw technique and swiped at his head with her claws, but missed when Naruto ducked under it and tried to kick her in the stomach. After sidestepping Naruto's kick, Yugito jumped into the air and brought her claws forward and yelled, Nekogeki cat strike, as she pounced on Naruto like a real live cat. With little time to spare, Naruto quickly rolled to his right and avoided the female Jinchuriki long nails, whose claws were now stuck in the ground, allowing Naruto to strike back and kick her in left side, sending her tumbling across the ground to the other end of the arena. End Naruto Shippuden OST-18 Emergence of Talents. After being kicked by the male blonde, Yugito wasted little time to recover and used her claw creation technique to regrow the nails on her hands, which broke when Naruto kicked her away. Once her nails reached their full length, Yugito raced towards the spiky-haired blonde and swiped at his head with her long claws. Naruto avoided the swipe by jumping into the air, where he then brought his leg up and yelled, "Ritsukiaku, Fisher kick." G. As soon as Yugito saw Naruto lift his leg up, she immediately knew what was coming and did several back flips to move as far back as she could. When Naruto's heel hit the ground, a large explosion erupted, filling much of the arena with dust. After the dust settled, the audience saw Naruto standing in the middle of another small crater and a small fissure in front of him that stretched to the arena wall. Geez, these kids won't be happy until they destroyed the entire arena, thought Genma as he observed the state of the arena. Once the dust settled, Yugito sped towards Naruto and attempted several leg swipes with her long nails, but Naruto dodged each and every one of them. Seeing this, Yugito tried a simple claw swipe with her right hand, which Naruto ducked under before destroying her nails with his superhuman strength. With her claws on her right hand gone, Yugito brought up her left hand up, forcing the blonde Senju to jump back. Seeing that she now had the advantage, Yugito jumped into the air and preformed and axed down on Naruto's head, only to be blocked by the blonde boy, where he brought both his arms up and the grab hold of her leg and began to swing her around. Round and round and round she goes, where she stops nobody knows, Naruto said as he swung the blonde Kaneki around by her leg, before letting her go and sending her flying into the arena wall. But before she could hit it, Yugito performed a mid-air flip, so that her feet would hit the wall first, where she then braced herself against the wall and used it to propel herself towards Naruto. When Naruto saw this, the young Senju was of course surprised by how quickly the blonde girl recovered, but immediately got over it and channeled more of his chakra into his right fist and brought it forward to meet Yugito's clawed hand and shattered her claws. After Naruto destroyed her claws, Yugito was set flying back several meters, but like before landed back on her feet and was ready to continue the fight. Hey, guess the old saying is true, cats do always land on the feet, Naruto thought with a small smirk. I gotta admit, Yugito-chan sure has come a long way when it comes to her taijutsu skill. I never used to have such a hard time with her when it came to hand. But I guess I shouldn't be surprised, like me she has probably been watching the other matches carefully. She knows the types of moves I normally make, which explains how she evaded so many of my earlier strikes so easily. Damn it, I nearly had him there. Not only has Naruto's swordsmanship improved, but his taijutsu has as well. I thought for sure that my high speed and agility would give me the edge I needed to beat him in taijutsu, Yugito thought with a frown. But he is able to react too quickly. Even my claws are useless thanks to that damnable strength of his. Guess I have to change tactics. With the audience. Looks like a pretty even match, Asuma commented. It would seem so, replied Kurenai, but it won't last long. Sooner or later one of them will make a mistake and give the other the advantage. Why didn't Naruto-kun use his strength earlier? Ino asked suddenly. Yay, he had plenty of good chances to use that insane strength of his when he hit her earlier, why didn't he use it? Kiba asked. He could have won this match ages ago if he had. It because of Lee, Kushina answered. Huh, what about him? Asked the Inuzuka boy. As you know, thanks to Naruto's training under Tsunade-sama, he has gained the same kind of immense strength she has. But because of this, Naruto has to be careful with how he uses it, since you have seen firsthand how much damage he can do when using it, Kushina said and received a nod of understanding from the genin. But ever since his battle with Lee, Naruto has become even more cautious using his immense strength against a person. He feels guilty for destroying Lee's chances as a shinobi and doesn't want to do the same thing to that Yugito girl. Since he knows her and her team from before he came here and considers them friends, that's why he has been so hesitant when using his enhanced strength. I guess that makes sense, Kiba said with a frown. Naruto-kun, Hinata thought sadly. In the arena. After staring at Naruto for about a minute or so, Yugito began to form some hand seals. When Naruto saw the hand seals, his eyes widened in recognition and thought, oh shit. Before jumping back as far back as he could from the blonde Kunoiki. Once Yugito finished her hand seals, she thought, Nezumi Kedama mouse hairball. And spat out a large number of flaming hairballs that assumed the shape of mice. After Yugito spat out her attack, the stream of hairballs spilt into 3 separate streams and converged on Naruto from both sides and the front at frightening speed. Realizing he was in trouble, Naruto performed 3 quick hand seals and slammed both his hands onto the ground, creating a small earth dome around him. Within seconds, the flaming mice-shaped hairballs converged on Naruto dome and exploded on contact, creating a large blast. But once the blast had ended and the smoke cleared, Yugito saw no sign of Naruto. Where is he? Yugito thought as she scanned the settling smoke. I'm not going to fall for any more of his tricks. Naruto too good and too tricky to let something like that kill him. It was then as Yugito scanned the blast that she saw a small hole in the ground. Upon seeing the hole, the blonde girl realized instantly where Naruto went and jumped into the air, just into time to avoid Naruto, who exploded out of the ground underneath her. Not one to waste an opportunity, Yugito took out the last of her remaining shuriken and threw them at Naruto, who in turn took out his last kunai from his utility belt and used it to deflect the shuriken, before throwing it at Yugito, where it cut several strands of her hair when she moved her head to avoid the kunai. As soon as Naruto's feet touched ground, he formed 5 quick hand seals and thought, Magen, Jubaku Satsu, demonic illusion, tree binding death. After Naruto finished his hand seals, he disappeared right before Yugito's eyes in a mist-like fashion. What the? Thought Yugito before a large tree sprung out from behind and wrapped itself around her, preventing her from moving. After which Naruto spurged out of the tree from behind her, with his hands glowing, indicating that he was using Chakra no Mesu, chakra scalpel. Fuck Genjutsu, the Kumo Kanachi thought before calling out to the Nibi for help, who immediately sent a small amount of her chakra to her host and freed her from the illusion. Huh, thought Naruto after Yugito broke free of his Genjutsu, where he was then forced to jump back to avoid a spinning back kicking from the blonde girl. Your Genjutsu is worthless against someone like me, Naruto, said Yugito as she spun around to face the spiky blonde boy. Someone like her, thought Naruto before realizing what she meant. Baka, I should have realized this sooner, because she is a Jinchuriki, she can have her Biju send her chakra to break free from Genjutsu. After realizing that his Genjutsu was now worthless, Naruto did a single hand seal and cried, Kage Bunshin no Jutsu, shadow clone technique, and created 2 shadow clones of himself. Unsure of what Naruto was up, Yugito jumped back from the Senju heir and his clones, so that there would be more distance between her and them. When Yugito jumped away, Naruto had his 2 clones split apart and flank Yugito on both sides. Seeing this, Yugiro decided to go on the offensive and attack the clone coming in on her left, hoping to destroy it before the other clone attacked. But when threw her fist at the Naruto clone, it blocked her punch with his right arm and then pushed her away, where the second clone appeared and kicked her in the face, sending her flying back a few feet. Recovering quickly, Yugito attacked again with a forward kick. But before her kick could connect, the first clone threw a flash bomb at her, creating a blinding flash and forcing her to halt her attack and jump away. After the flash bomb, Yugito struggled to regain her bearings, as the flash bomb left her temporarily blind. Taking advantage of her blindness, the first Naruto clone came up from Yugito's left and delivered a strong left hook to her face. Stumbling slightly from the hit, Yugito attempted a blind right cross, but missed as the clone jumped back. After which the second clone appeared behind her and delivered a powerful spinning kick to the side of her head, which sent her tumbling across the ground, several meters away. But before she could stop tumbling, the first clone appeared behind her and kicked her forward. This continued for several minutes, where the 2 clones would attack her from different directions each time, leaving her little chance to defend herself. Even when she tried to go on the offense, 1 clone would block her attack and keep her one place and allow the other to attack her when she was exposed. After being kicked in the stomach again, Yugito struggled to stand up. She already had several bruises and a bleeding lip. But she refused to give up, and as the fight continued, the blonde girl started to hold her own again, where she began to defend herself and block the 2 clones' attacks, but just barely. Seeing that Yugito was blocking all their attacks, the 2 clones decided to attack her from both sides at the exact same time. But before their punches could hit, the blonde girl fell to the ground and brought both her legs up into their air and performed an upside-down split kick, hitting both clones at the bottom of their chins at the same time and causing them to burst into smoke. After his clones were destroyed, Naruto took out several senbon needles from his utility belt and threw them at female Jinchuriki. Knowing that Naruto often coated his needles with poison, Yugito did her best to make sure that none of the needles hit her. But after she evaded the Senbon needles, Yugito quickly realized that they were just a distraction, where she saw Naruto create another shadow clone and then started to form hand seals. With little time to spare, Yugito immediately started to form her own set of hand seals. When Naruto finished, he thought, Suten, Mizurapa, water style, wild water wave, and spat out a large stream of water from his mouth. As soon as Naruto spat out the stream of water, his clone channeled some of its chakra into its hand and converted it into lightning and sent it into the stream of water, creating an electrified wave of water. At the same, Yugito finished her own hand seals and thought Kaiten, Okibi, and spewed out a long stream of fire from her mouth. After which she then performed 5 more hand seals and thought Raiten, Kangekiha, lightning style, wave of inspiration, and channeled the lightning that formed in her hand into the fire, creating a stream of fire and lightning. When the two attacks collided, a massive explosion of fire, water and lightning erupted, where much of the center part of the arena was covered in an electrified mist. Before the two attacks hit, Genma had wisely jumped up to the wall and channeled his chakra to his feet, allowing him to stick to the wall and watch the match from a safe and high vantage point. I think I will stay here for now, because if I don't I'm liable to get caught in the crossfire between these two crazy blondes. Yugito and Naruto, on the other hand, were not as fortunate, as they were both sent crashing into opposite ends of the arena wall by the force of the blast of the explosion. After being blown back by the blast, Yugito slowly got back onto her feet. She was already in rough shape, with a few broken and cracked ribs, several bruises, cuts and a splintered lip. Seeing that the electrified mist now covered much of the center part of the arena, Yugito decided to lean against the arena wall and use the time before the mist dissipated to catch her breath. She was already nearing her limit, especially with that last jutsu she used, and needed some time to rest. But after only a few minutes, her instincts screamed to her to move. Listening to them, Yugito quickly jumped to her right. As soon as she had jumped away, Naruto, using Doton, Mogaragaku no Jutsu, earth style, hiding like a mole technique, burst out of the ground underneath her with a kunai in hand. After avoiding Naruto's sneak attack, Yugito quickly picked up a discarded kunai from the ground and unwound the prey beads around her left arm, and cut the line that held the beads together. She then threw the beads into the air, causing them to scatter and fall to the ground all around Naruto. This can't be good, Naruto thought before he saw Yugito form a single hand seal and yelled Kai, where they exploded and creating a bright flash and a lot of smoke, blinding and confusing Naruto, making him an easy target for Yugito, who delivered a sharp punch to the face and strong kick to the stomach, which sent his skidding across the ground. After being kicked away by the blonde Kunoichi, Naruto tried to get back onto his feet, but found he could not and saw that he was wrapped with ninja wire, preventing him from moving. Seeing that he was wrapped in ninja wire, Naruto quickly realized that it was the same wire that Yugito had used to hold her beads together, and that she had somehow wrapped him in it when she hit him. At the same time, Yugito wrapped the ends of the wire around her hands and used the Kangekiha technique to channel lightning from her hand through her steel line and into Naruto. When the lightning entered Naruto's body, the spiky blonde began to convulse and scream in pain. In the cage box, from their position, the 4 cages and the 2 Sannin watched as the battle unfold and turn in Yugito's favor. As Naruto's screams echoed from the arena, the Yondaime Reikage smirked in triumphant. Well done, Yugito, I thought with a small sigh of relief, as for a while he was starting to believe that the female Jinchuriki might actually lose. When Tsunade saw her son convulsing and screaming in pain, the Senju mother had to be held back from going down to the arena and stopping the match. If you know what's good for you, Jiraiya, you will let me go now. Tsunade rounded as she tried to get her former teammate to let go of her left arm. No, Haim, I can't, this is his fight, I won't let you interfere, retorted the Toad Sage. After Jiraiya said this, the female Senju turned around and glared angrily at the white-haired man. But to his credit, Jiraiya showed no sign of fear and stared back defiantly at the blonde woman. Before Tsunade could even begin to yell at the man, Jiraiya suddenly spoke. Listen to me, Haim, I know you want to help, but you can't, this is his fight, win or lose. I don't care, cried Tsunade, I am not going to sit idly by and watch my son be killed. It's not going come to that, Haim. How can you be so sure? Because I have seen that girl go for wounding blows when it would have been easier to go for killing blows. You would have seen them too, but you've been so focused on the brat, that you've missed them. That doesn't mean that she won't kill him by accident, especially if she continues like this, retorted a concerned Tsunade, who was on the verge jumping down to the arena and helping her son. Look Tsunade, I know this is hard for you, but please just wait little longer. The whole point of us training him is so that he can stand up to strong opponents on his own 2 feet. If we go down there now, then all the training we've put him through will be for nothing. He can't always be depending on us to come save him when he is in trouble. He has to win his own battles. When Jiraiya finished, the granddaughter of the Shodai Hokage just gritted her teeth in anger. She knew that there was truth in what Jiraiya said. But the mother in her refused to listen, as she wanted nothing more than to stop Naruto's suffering and protect her son from all the horrors in the world, even if she knew that it was impossible. I promise Tsunade, if things keep going like this, I will be the first to go down there and end the match. All I'm asking is that you have faith in him. You know better than anyone how tough he is. He has his father's head and your stubbornness in him, so he's not done just yet, Jiraiya said with a small encouraging smirk as he placed his hand on her shoulder. At this remark, the female Senju smiled a little, but that quickly faded when she heard Naruto screams again, where she had to retrain herself from going down to him. As she watched her son, Tsunade bit her bottom lip in frustration and silently prayed that her son could get out of this. In the arena, as Naruto continued to convulse and scream in pain, Yugito spoke. Give up Naruto, you've lost. No, yelled Naruto as he gritted his teeth from the pain. Don't be stupid Naruto, you can't break free, and if you don't give up you'll die. Damn it, I need to break free, but how? Naruto thought, as the pain was becoming unbearable. As he tried to figure a way out, a moment of inspiration hit him when he suddenly realized that he was still holding his kunai. That's it. Now if I can just turn over. Naruto thought, as he turned himself over onto his stomach and stabbed his kunai in the ground. Soon after Naruto turned himself onto his stomach, he stopped screaming and convulsing, causing Yugito to stop channeling her lightning through the ninja wire. Slowly the blonde girl walked over to the motionless Naruto, but just as she touched him to see if he was still alive. A now freed Naruto suddenly turned around, threw the kunai at her, narrowly avoiding her face, but leaving a slight cut of her right cheek. Still surprised by what happened, Yugito was left complete open to a sharp punch to the stomach that sent her skidding across the ground several meters before hunching over in pain. Before Yugito could even recover and strike back, Naruto took out the last of his smoke bombs and smashed them onto the ground, causing a small cloud of smoke to appear around him. When the smoke dissipated, Naruto was gone without a trace. After Naruto disappeared, Yugito quickly began to look around for any sign of him, but could find none. She knew it would be pointless look for him, as the mist caused by their last attack still covered the much of the arena, giving Naruto plenty of cover to hide in. Knowing that it would only be a matter of time before Naruto made his appearance again, Yugito decided to use the break from the fight to rest, even for a few minutes. In the audience, that was far too close, Shizune said as she let out a sigh of relief after Naruto escaped. Tell me about it, Kushina muttered, who also looked relieved. But how did he do it? Kiba asked, who had been certain that Naruto was finished a moment ago. I believe I can answer that, said Kakashi, gaining Kiba the other's attention. Judging by how things were going, Naruto probably used the kunai that he was holding as a makeshift ground rod, and channeled the electricity from his body into the ground, which was why he rolled himself onto his stomach. Once Yugito stopped channeling her lightning through the wire, he used his kunai to cut the wire to escape, explained Kakashi, who was rather impressed with how resourceful Naruto was. So where is Naruto? Sakura asked. He's hiding behind one of the trees next to the wall, answered Hinata, who used her Byakugan to find the Senju heir. He's probably using the time to recover and heal his injuries, as the lightning probably did a lot of damage, Shizune added, who hoped that her godson surrogate little brother was okay. In the arena, after a few minutes the mist finally cleared and Naruto made his move and threw several senbon needles at Yugito, forcing her to avoid them. But what she didn't know was that the senbon needles were just a distraction, whereas soon as avoided all the needles. Naruto appeared right in front of her and used Chakura no Mesu to sever the tendons on right arm and left leg, and followed up with a sharp kick to the stomach that sent her flying several meters back. After Yugito stopped skidding, she struggled to keep standing due to the tendons in her left leg being severed. I believe you're the one who should give up this time, Yugito-chan, Naruto said. I've just severed the tendons in your right arm and left leg, meaning you can no longer form hand seals or move around. This fight is now over. Damn it, Yugito cursed inside her mind before she heard the Nibi's voice inside her mind. Looks like you'll need my help to beat you, boyfriend kitten. So it seems, replied the blonde Kunoichi, as she had hoped to defeat Naruto without having to resort to her Biju's power and overpower him with it. And stop calling him that, he's not my boyfriend. I told you 100 times already I don't think of him that way. Yay, keep telling yourself that, but sooner or later you're going to have to stop lying to yourself, kitten. Just give me your chakra already. Rounded the angry teen. Fine, replied the cat demon, before sending a sizable amount of her chakra to Yugito, who was starting to regain movement in her right and left leg, thanks to the Nibi's chakra repairing the damage. Crap, this is not good, Naruto thought when he saw the red chakra form around the blonde Kumo Kunoichi and started having flashbacks from the last time he saw Yugito use this chakra and nearly killed him. But unlike the last time, the chakra seemed less wild and Yugito seemed to be in more control, which meant more trouble for him. In the audience. So it begins, thought Danzo as he and the other shinobi elders watched Yugito summon the Nibi's power, where it shrouded her entire body. That chakra could she be? Mai thought with a frown. That girl, Baki thought with a frown. That chakra, Kurenai said in recognition, when she saw the red chakra form around Yugito. Looks like the kid was right on the money about her, said Asuma. So she really is the Nibi no Bakeneko Jinchuriki. Oops, said Kushina and quickly covered her mouth when she realized that she said that out loud. Nibi what? Asked Kiba. Asuma sensei, what's a Jinchuriki? Ino asked her sensei, since she had never heard of a Jinchuriki. Seeing that all the genin were now curious, the elder shinobi turned and glared slightly at the former red-headed Anbu captain, who had the decency to look embarrassed, as Kushina the blabbermouth had done it again. Once they were finished glaring at Kushina, Kakashi decided to answer the genin question, as the knowledge of Jinchuriki wasn't exactly classified. It was just rarely mentioned for Naruto's sake, so to lessen the chance that anyone would figure out that Naruto was a Jinchuriki. A Jinchuriki is a unique person who has a Biju sealed into them. Biju, you mean like the Kyuubi? Sakura asked. Yes, the Kyuubi is one of only 9 Biju that exist in this world, each with immense reserves of chakra that far exceeds any shinobi. In fact, one Biju alone could easily level Konoha with little trouble, which is why shinobi villages seal them into certain shinobi, in hope of harnessing their immense power. You mean that all that chakra she covered in right now is from a demon? Choji asked. Yes, but that is only a small fraction of its power, for if she were to use all her Biju's power, this entire stadium along with everyone here would be destroyed, finished Yamato. No way, said Kiba in awe, who knew that what Kakashi and Yamato said was true, given how scared Akamaru was right now. Who was hiding in his jacket again and was on the verge of wetting himself. Naruto-kun, please be alright, Hinata thought, who was fearful as to what would happen to the blonde boy. Seeing the worried look at the genin faces, Kushina suddenly spoke again. Don't worry kids, Naruto isn't done yet, he still has a few tricks up his sleeve. But if this Jinchuriki girl is as powerful as you say, how can Naruto-kun possibly beat her? Ino asked. You'll see soon enough, Kushina replied with a knowing look, while at the same time thinking. I just hope that Naruto has enough strength to use it, as judging by the amount of chakra that girl is releasing, her control over her Biju's power is pretty high. I spy with my little eye, things are heating up, said Killer B. It seems the battle will soon be drawing to a close. Simui remarked. Yay, looks like Yugito is finally going all out if she is using the Nibi's chakra, commented Omoi. That chakra, Kuretsuki, could she be? Akatsuki asked. She is, Kuretsuki replied, looks like the rumors were true after all. Kumo is really going all out if they had the Nibi no Bakeneko Jinchuriki enter the Chunin exam. Shit, that girl is a Jinchuriki, what the hell is Kumo thinking, sending someone like her into the Chunin exam? Said Zabuza in surprise. A Jinchuriki, said Chojuro in surprise, you mean like the Yondai Mizukage? Yay, like him, answered the demon of the mist, who silently cursed himself for not seeing it sooner, as it now made sense to him why Killer B was her sensei and why the Yondai Reikage allowed him to leave Kumo. Since whom better to teach her to control her Biju's power than the man who was renowned all over the shinobi world as the perfect Jinchuriki? If she can control her Biju's power even half as well as the Yondai Mizukage, Senju doesn't stand a chance, Saito said, where he received a nod from his sensei, who had to agree that Naruto's chants were pretty bleak. As Zabuza and the two boys conversed, Haku remained surprisingly silent and just kept her eyes on the arena. Although Zabuza did notice that she was gripping her hands tightly, showing that she was concerned for Naruto. That power, what is it? Neji thought when he saw the Nibi's power rising from Yugito. When he activated his Byakugan, he could see the red chakra flooding her entire body, and for a moment he saw the chakra take the shape of a large cat. What is she? Neji said out loud in surprise. What's wrong, Neji? Did you see something? Tenten asked. When I used my Byakugan to see where this red energy was coming from, for a moment the chakra inside her took on the shape of a cat-like creature. I've never seen anything like this before, it's almost like it's alive. Neji, are you sure that what you saw was a cat? Guy asked with a serious look on his face, which was highly unusual for him. Yes, I am fairly certain it was, Neji answered, where he then saw his sensei frown at the news. Guy sensei, do you know what it is? Asked Tenten, who couldn't understand what she was seeing. To her knowledge, chakra is normally invisible to the naked eye and could only be seen in situations where a person releases as much of their chakra as possible, and judging by the amount they were seeing, it was a lot. But at the same time, this chakra seemed different from regular chakra. Yes, I believe I do, and if this girl is what I think she is, I fear Naruto-san's chances of winning this battle have all but faded. What do you mean, Guy sensei? Asked Lee, who was just as confused as his teammates. Unfortunately, I cannot say right now, as it would take too long to explain. But to put it simply, in the shinobi world there are a select group of shinobi who possess a unique and extremely powerful type of chakra that goes beyond most shinobi, and I believe Yugito-san is one of these individuals. When Guy finished, none of his students knew what to say and decided to just watch the battle unfold. In the finalist box. That power, what is it? Sasuke thought in surprise, where he activated the Sharingan to try and understand it further. It's almost like the curse seal power, no, it's stronger. Just what the hell kind of battle is this? Muttered Shikamaru while thinking, both these blondes are so damn troublesome. Strange, my Kikaichu seem to be rather anxious regarding the unusual chakra that girl is emanating, thought Shino. Hey, this battle is ours, Karui thought with a smirk. Unlike the last time Yugito has control over the Nibi's chakra, now she's unbeatable. This feeling and that chakra, sis, could she also be? Kankuro asked while glancing at his younger brother. She has to be, there's no other explanation, replied Temari, who was now becoming even more concerned that there was another Jinchuriki in the finals. When the two elder siblings turned to their younger brother, they saw that he had a stunned expression on his face, which was highly unusual for him. In the cage box. When the members of the cage box saw Yugito summoning the Nibi, many of the cages frowned. Like the cages, both Jiraiya and Tsunade's faces became very somber, although they were relieved that Naruto escaped Yugito's ninja wire. They knew that the real battle between Naruto and Yugito had just begun. So, Naruto-kun was correct, Yugito really is the Jinchuriki for the Nibi no Bakeneko, thought Sarutobi with a small frown. I must say, Reikage-sama, I find it rather extreme that you would allow one of your Jinchuriki into the exam, spoke the Mizukage. There is no rule against it, Mizukage-sama, replied the Reikage, who was now certain Yugito would win, now that she was using the Nibi's power. Besides, as I said, she is one of my village's most promising Kunoiki, and it is no different than what the Kazekage has done. Since, if the rumors are true, his son Gaara is also a Jinchuriki. At this revelation the Kazekage simply nodded, although frowned slightly at the Reikage, as if he was displeased that the bulky cage revealed that Gaara was a Jinchuriki. When Gaara's status as a Jinchuriki was revealed, the female cage frowned even more, as she was unaware of this information until now. She of course knew what could happen should two Jinchuriki face off against one another. This was one of the reasons why Jinchuriki generally stayed out of the Chunin exams, or at the very least the village of the Jinchuriki would make sure that no other Jinchuriki were competing in the exam. Knowing there was nothing she could say or do now, the Mizukage remained silent and could only hope that neither Yugito nor Gaara would face each other in the final round. For if both genin unleashed their Biju's power and lost control of them, it could be disastrous for everyone. In the arena, once her body was completely covered by the Nibi's red chakra, Yugito used her claw creation technique again, turning her fingernails and toenails into long claws. As soon as her nails were at the maximum length, Yugito disappeared in a blur and attacked Naruto using Nekozoom. Thanks to his training with his mother, Naruto was able to move in time to avoid a severe wound by jumping to his left, although still received a light scratch on his right arm. But as soon as he evaded Yugito's attack, the blonde Kunoichi reappeared behind and delivered a powerful kick in the back, sending him flying forward. Shit. Not only has she gotten faster, but stronger as well, thought Naruto as he flew through the air, before being sent crashing into the ground by a strong axe kick from Yugito, who had suddenly appeared above him and then moved in to finish him off with a stabbing strike with her claws. But before he could deliver the final blow, Naruto rolled to his left, causing Yugito to stab the ground instead. Naruto then grabbed hold of her other arm and swung her around once and used his enhanced strength to throw her to the other end of the arena. Before she could hit the wall, Yugito performed a mid-air flip and landed on the ground. But what she didn't know was that Naruto had thrown her to a specific place and had predicted that she would recover before she hit the wall. After the incident where he accidentally cut Yugito's top and hid in the mist, Naruto used the time before the mist faded, to cover the spot where Yugito was standing in now with all his remaining exploding notes, and covered them over with dirt so they would be hidden. He did this in the event that the battle turned against him and needed a trap to defeat Yugito. As soon as Yugito's feet touched the ground, Naruto formed a ram seal and yelled, "Kai," which activated the notes and caused a large explosion. That sent Yugito crashing through the wall behind her and causing pieces of the wall to fall on top of her. But just when everyone thought the battle was finally over, Yugito burst out of the pile of rubble with little injury, thanks to her chakra cloak protecting her from the majority of the explosion. After bursting out of the rubble, Yugito raced towards Naruto with astounding speed where all Naruto could do was think, "Crap," before being sent flying back into the wall behind him. But before he hit the wall, Yugito reappeared behind him and kicked him in the back, sending him flying into the air. The next thing Naruto knew, Yugito appeared right in front of him, when he tried to defend himself and strike at the girl. But she disappeared and reappeared to Naruto's right and delivered a powerful punch to the side of Naruto's face, sending him flying. Before Naruto could even realize what had just happened, Yugito appeared again in midair and gave him a brutal heel kick to the left side of his face, sending him flying in the opposite direction. After the kick, Naruto tried to recover by getting his feet back on the ground, but as soon as he did, the blonde girl appeared again and punched him in the stomach. The punch was so strong, that Naruto felt like he had been kicked by a donkey and nearly fell to his knees. This continued for the next few minutes, as Yugito flew around Naruto, making the young Senju feel like a beach ball, as Yugito sent him flying from one end of the arena to the next. He couldn't even defend himself as every time he tried, Yugito would hit him before he could fully bring up his guard up, and every time he tried to hit her, the blonde Kunoichi would disappear, and reappear somewhere else. Eventually Naruto crashed into the arena wall facing directly in front of the stands and trapped in the wall, where his arms were pinned to his sides, unable to move. Seeing Yugito heading for him, Naruto knew he didn't have much time and began to gather his chakra. "I won't lose, I refuse to lose," yelled Naruto as he used his chakra to enhance his strength. To the shock and amazement of nearly everyone in the stands, cracks started to appear on the wall around Naruto and continued to spread, until suddenly Naruto broke free and massive explosion erupted, where a 5-meter-long section of the arena wall came tumbling down. In the cage box. "Such strength," gasped the Mizukage in shock. "Indeed," remarked the Kazekage with a hint of surprise. In the arena, as the wall came tumbling down, Yugito halted her advance and jumped back, away from the rubble and the large cloud of dust that appeared after the section wall collapsed. "Geez, how much more damage do these kids intend to do?" thought a wide-eyed Genma after seeing Naruto bring down an entire section of the arena wall down. Soon after, as the dust began to dissipate, a panting Naruto emerged, covered in dirt and looking fairly worn, but relatively fine otherwise. "I underestimated his strength, where is he getting his power?" thought Yugito with a large frown. Hey, don't think you've won this just yet, Yugito-chan. Hey, and don't ever underestimate my power," said a sweating and panting Naruto, who then channeled most of his remaining chakra to his fist and yelled, "Chikaku Hendo, Earthshaker Impact," and slammed his fist into the ground, where the entire stadium started to shake from the foundations up. Unbelievable, said Yugito, before she was forced to jump into the air as the entire arena floor was pulverized into minute pieces by the excess shock of Naruto's punch. In the audience, what's going on? It feels like an earthquake, said a worried Undo as he felt the stadium shaking a little. No, it's Naruto ni, yelled Konohamaru as he pointed to Naruto below and to the destroyed arena floor. Incredible, said Iruka. This is nuts, cried Choji, as he tried to keep his chips from spilling all over the floor from the shaking. You think, replied Kiba, who was holding the edge of his seat tightly. In the finalist box, is Senju fucking crazy, yelled Karui as she held onto the railing, where she then saw more cracks appear on the arena wall and were spreading all around. Does he want to bring down the entire stadium? Damn that Naruto, he's just destroyed the arena again, muttered an annoyed Shikamaru as he looked down at the now demolished arena. This battle is on a completely different level from when Naruto fought Lee, Sasuke thought in disbelief. Fuck me, I'm staying as far away as possible from that brat when the invasion starts, he's worse than Gaara, thought a worried Kankuro. In the arena, after Yugito was forced to jump up into the air, after the arena floor was destroyed, Naruto performed 3 quick hand seals and slammed both his hands into the ground before yelling, Doten, Michu Shibari, Earth style, 3-pillar bind. When Naruto did this, 3 large pillars sprung out of the ground and converged on Yugito, who could do nothing to avoid them and was pinned in midair by them. Yugito of course tried to free herself using the chakra the Nibi gave her, but found she could not move thanks to the seal tags Naruto latched onto the earth pillar when he summoned them, preventing her from moving any part of her body. Gotcha, hey, said a panting Naruto with a smile. Bruh, I can't, growled Yugito as she struggled to move, but couldn't. In the audience, crap, Yugito's is in trouble, said Omoi in concern. To use the earth, the very foundation of the stadium itself as a weapon, even Yugito will have trouble escaping from this, Simui thought with a large frown. In the arena, this is where it ends Yugito-chan, Naruto thought, where he jumped into the air and charged his fist with chakra, intending to finish Yugito off with one last blow. I won't lose, thought Yugito as she continued to try and break free. In the audience cage box, finalist box. Come on Yugito, thought the Reikage. Watch the battle turn once again in Naruto's favor. Go Yugito, yelled Omoi as he cheered for his teammate. Come on Yugito, take command, you can take him, shouted Karui. Go Yugito, we know you can do it, cheered Killer B. Come on Yugito, show him what you are capable of, thought Simui. In the arena, as Naruto flew towards her with his fist raised, Yugito could hear the cheers of her teammates from the stands and knew she had to win. Gripping her hands into a fist, Yugito suddenly shouted, NNIIBBIII. Right kitten, replied the monster cat, where she sent an immense amount of her chakra into Yugito, who then released it all in one large burst, just as Naruto swung his supercharged fist at her, causing a massive explosion when they connected, destroying the rock pillars and sending debris flying everywhere, including stands, and forcing people to cover their faces with their arms. After the explosion ended, the entire arena was covered in one massive cloud of dust. Soon after though, the dust cloud began to setting where 2 figures could be seen standing on opposite ends of the now destroyed arena floor, staring one another. Once the dust fully settled, the crowd could see the 2 genin, with Naruto standing at the left end of the arena and Yugito, who was still covered in thin layer of the Nibi's chakra, and facing him from the right end of the arena. Both looked exhausted and were panting heavily, their clothes in tatters, their faces covered in dirt, sweat and dried blood, yet neither one looked ready to quit. Damn, those 2 are something else, most shinobi their age would be down on out a long time ago, commented Genma to himself. Regardless of which one of them wins, both of them are top-notch shinobi in my book. In the finalist box. Yes. Alright Yugito, Senju got nothing on you, now finish him off, cried Karui as she cheered her teammate on. Geez, this battle is such a pain, they've completely ruined the arena, muttered Shikamaru. Maybe if we're luckily they chancel this whole troublesome exam, once this battle is done. Damn it, Sasuke silently cursed as he slammed his fist on the railing and glared down at the 2 blondes. What the hell am I doing wrong, why am I so pathetic? The Uchiha heir thought angrily, who becoming more and more frustrated at how much stronger Yugito and Naruto were than him. The more he watched the battle, the more obvious the difference in power between him and them was. Even after improving his skill with the Sharingan and learning Kakashi's technique, the gap between him and Naruto had barely changed at all. At the rate I'm going, I'll never defeat him, I need to do something to get stronger, Sasuke thought angrily. Those two are insane, they could cause some serious trouble when the operation begins, Kankuro said quietly as he looked down at the ruined arena. Let's hope for our sake that they take each other out, Temari replied, who like her brother was worried what would happen should Gaara fight either of them. Who currently was watching the battle between Naruto and Yugito with excitement in his eyes and was barely containing his bloodlust. In the audience, man this is intense, muttered Kiba, who was exhausted from just watching the two blondes fight. Yay, both of them are unbelievable, replied Choji, who was on the same bag of chips that he was eating when the match first started and was only halfway through, which showed how much he was into the match. Damn, and I thought the fight between Naruto and that Lee kid was intense, muttered Anko, as like in that match, Yugito and Naruto had complete destroyed the arena. Let's just hope that this battle ends soon or else we may have to end it without a winner, as the arena doesn't look like it can take much more, Asuma remarked. This battle won't last much longer, Kushina replied. What do you mean? Asked Ino. Naruto and Yugito are finally reaching their limits, spoke Kakashi. Both of them are panting heavily and given the length of the battle, the injuries they've taken and the amount of chakra they've used, they won't last too much longer. Do you think Naruto can win, Kakashi-sensei? Sakura asked. At first Kakashi didn't answer and just stared at the two tired blondes, but after a moment or two he spoke. Too close to tell, both of them seem pretty even, but if I were to guess I would put odds on Naruto, although that mainly because I know what he can do. It's Naruto, you can beat on it, said Shizune, with a knowing smile, as she knew what her godson, surrogate little brother could do. You got that right, as the brat still has one last card to play and it's his best one, Kushina replied. WWH what is it? Hinata asked nervously. In response the red-headed Jonin just smiled and said, something tell me you're about to see. I must say, Naruto-kun certainly knows how to put on a show, commented the Fire Daimyo. I must concur Kasai-sama, this is probably the most exciting battle I have ever seen, the Lightning Daimyo remarked. And it seems that your granddaughter is just as enthralled with it as we are. It would seem so, the Fire Daimyo replied as he glanced at his granddaughter, who was cheering loudly for Naruto. Such passion and fighting spirit, truly they are in the springtime of their youth, said Guy, who received no reply from his students, who were gaping at the state of the arena and how fiercely Naruto and Yugito were fighting. Both of them are something else, how much longer do you think they can keep this up? Akatsuki asked as he turned to his female partner. Not much longer, it's only a matter of time, they both look like they're running on empty, the Chuchikage's granddaughter replied. Damn, are these two really just kids? I've seen Jonin fight less fiercely than them, said Kotetsu. No kidding, they like miniature monsters, they've demolished the entire arena, Izumo replied. In the cage box. Damn, it must be nice to be young, Jiraiya commented, those two have been fighting for over 2 hours straight, and they still want to keep going. Indeed their stamina and resolve is most impressive, the Mizukage remarked. Yes, but it seems that they are finally nearing an end, the Sandaime Hokage said, while at the same time mourning over how the repairs from this battle would triple his workload, even with the Kage Bunshin helping him. It was at this point that the four Kages and the two Sannin suddenly saw Naruto fall to his knees and hold his right side in pain. Naru-chan, cried Tsunade as she went to the railing and leaned over it, when she saw her son fall to his knees. Looks like the girl got him during the last attack, Jiraiya said with a frown. Good girl, Yugito, thought the Raikage with a small smirk. In the arena, after Naruto fell to his knees in pain, he covered his right side, which bleeding pretty badly from a large claw slash from Yugito, when she attacked him after using the Nibi's chakra to break free from his rocker pillars. I told you before Naruto, I had no intention of giving up or holding back, said Yugito as she fell into a standard fighting stance. So I suggest that you give up now, as you won't last much longer. The same can be said about you kitten, you won't be able to last much longer. Since releasing that much of my chakra at once has taken a toll on your body and what you have left is all I can afford to let you have. That is unless you want to destroy your body or go berserk again. Don't worry Nibi, I won't need any more, this battle is just about over, replied the blonde girl. At the same time as Yugito was speaking to her Biju, Naruto was contemplating his situation. Damn it, not good. I underestimated how strong she was when using her Biju's chakra. Looks like I have no other choice. I was hoping not to use it unless I was facing Gaara, but I guess I should have known better. I'll have to get this right on the first try as I don't have enough chakra for a second chance. Slowly Naruto got back onto his feet and removed his hand from his right side where he created two shadow clones of himself and then looked over at Yugito, who frowned slightly when she saw Naruto smirk, despite the fact that he was wounded. I have to admit, Yugito-chan, you've gotten a lot stronger since the last time we fought. Thanks, you've gotten a lot stronger as well. Not many people have been able to push me as far as you have. But before we continue, can you tell me what you know of my clan? What? The girl asked in surprise. What do you know of my clan? Repeated the blonde boy. Why, just humor me. What's he up to now? The female Jinchuriki thought with a frown, before deciding to accommodate Naruto. Fine, the Senju clan was considered to be one of, if not the strongest clan in the shinobi world during the Great Shinobi Clan Wars. The reason why they became so feared and well known was because unlike other clans, who focused on mastering one particular skill, the Senju clan were masters in all skills, from ninjutsu, to taijutsu, to genjutsu. This was how they earned their moniker as the Sen no Tio Matsu Aikaizaku, the clan with 1,000 skills, and how they were able to match other powerful shinobi clans with bloodline limits, like the Uchiha clan. Pretty good, Yugito, I give you an A, as you got almost everything right. Oh, and what did I get wrong? The teen girl asked with a raised eyebrow. Well, it's not what you got wrong, it's what you missed, since there was actually one other name that my clan went by. A name they earned thanks to my great-grandfather, the Shodai Hokage. And what's that? Yugito asked, who was starting to have a bad feeling about this. They were also known as the Mori no Senju Aikaizaku, the Senju clan of the forest, and this was how they earned that name. Naruto said before preforming 3 quick hand seals and yelling, Mokuton, Mokashoku, would release, wooden tentacles. As he slammed both his hands onto the ground. Enter Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood OST3 The Intrepid. After Naruto slammed both his hands onto the ground, several dozen wooden tentacles erupted from the ground and made their way straight for Yugito. He can use Mokuton, Genma said in shock when he saw the wooden tentacles spring out of the ground. Impossible, Yugito yelled before she heard the Nibi's voice scream in her head. Yugito, run now. If he catches you, you're finished. Acting quickly, Yugito immediately used her enhanced speed to move to her right to avoid the wooden tentacles, but as soon as she did, Naruto had him turn follow after her. How the hell is this possible? I thought Mokuton was a mutation, not an actually bloodline limit, and that only the Shodai Hokage could use it. Yugito thought, as she raced around the arena, doing her best to evade all of Naruto's wooden tentacles. I don't know, but the fact is Mokuton is now officially a bloodline limit and your boyfriend has it. Just like his ancestor, which explains why his chakra is so much like the Shodai Hokage's and why I found it so familiar. Thanks for stating the fucking obvious. I could have used that information 10 minutes ago, where I actually could have done something about it where we wouldn't be in this situation. Yugito rounded angrily. It's not my fault. The Nibi yelled back, relatives naturally have similar chakra to one another. How the hell was I supposed to know that he would have Mokuton? No one else in his clan has ever had it before. In the cage box. It can't be, cried the Raikage as she stood up from his seat and leaned over the railing and looked on in shock as Naruto preformed an ability that should no longer exist. Impossible, said a stunned C. Unbelievable, thought a wide-eyed Darui. The Raikage and his guards were of course not the only ones to be shocked by this new revelation, as both the other visiting cages and the guards stared on in disbelief. It is, said the Kazekage. Mokuton, said the Mizukage, who couldn't believe her eyes. But how? Said an astonished Ao, as the other cages and the guards gaped at how Naruto was performing the same ability as the legendary Shodai Hokage. The Sandaime Hokage and his 2 former students just grinned at each other, enjoying the stunned looks on the guests' faces. Seeing the grins on the old Hokage and the 2 Sanins' faces, the Raikage quickly turned to glare at the 3. You knew he could do this, didn't you? The Raikage said as he pointed accusingly at the 3. Of course, I'm his mother after all, and I did tell you earlier that Naru-chan had yet to show his true abilities, Tsunade replied with a shit-eating grin. And this is it, He is the first natural-born Mokuton user ever to be born since my grandfather and is his true successor in every way. When the Reikage heard this, he just stared at the blonde woman with a mixture of confusion and anger before turning back to the arena. As he watched Yugito, who was busy trying to avoid the multiple wooden tentacles, his belief in Yugito winning the match was sinking faster than a rock in the ocean. In the finalist box. No way, Naruto can use Mokuton. Shikamaru said in surprise, while Shino, who was standing next to him, just stared in amazement. How? Yelled Karui, who was now starting to worry. This is bad, Temari, Kankuro said, as knew what this meant for their plan. I know, the blonde girl retorted angrily, who like her brother had heard the stories of the legendary founder of Konoha and the unique ability of his Mokuton power, which allowed him to suppress the powers of Biju and control them. When the two siblings looked at their younger brother, they were surprised to see a look of astonishment on his face, which was highly unusual for him. In the audience, Mokuton, cried one of the Hyuga elders in surprise. But how? Said another elder, in shock. This changes everything, thought Hyashi's father in disbelief. Mokuton, your Gramps is going to want to know about this Kuretsuki, said Akatsuki. You think? Rounded the dark-haired girl, who had a serious look on her face at this new development. Since Naruto had gone from an impressive shinobi to a major threat. This can't be happening, this has to be some kind of nightmare. Why now of all times? Thought Baki furiously, who knew how big a threat Naruto had now become to their invasion. That's it, that is fucking it, I give up. Said Zabuza in annoyance. Every time I think I have this kid figured out, he does something else, just what the hell can't he do? You too, Naruto-kun, thought a wide-eye Haku. 7. Unbelievable, muttered Saito, who his teammate Chojuro stared down in awe. So it begins, thought Danzo, who was rather interested to see how well Naruto could use his bloodline limit. Amazing, truly Naruto-kun is the Shodai Hokage's heir, muttered a stunned guy, who now fully understood what Kushina was trying to tell him at the beginning of the preliminaries. No way, said Tenten, while her teammate Lee just stared slack-jawed. So this is your true power, Naruto-san, thought a stunned Neji. It seems you were right about me all along, I was blind fool. He was holding back this much in our fight, said a stunned Mai with a mixture of amazement and anger. Since she was a proud Kunoichi and did not like the fact that Naruto held this much back in their battle. I do see, but do not believe, rhymed a wide Killer Bee. No wonder the boy's chakra was so much like the Shodai Hokage's, he can perform Mokuton as well, Hachibi said in surprise. If he can use his Mokuton even half as well as his ancestor, Yugito and the Nibi won't stand a chance. Unreal, muttered an awestruck Omoi. Not cool, said Simui with a worried look, as she knew what this meant for Yugito. Holy cow, Naruto can use Mokuton, said Choji in surprise. Naruto-kun is incredible, said Hinata. Just how strong is Naruto-kun? Ino asked before turning to Sakura. Did you know about this? The blonde girl asked, remembering how Sakura said she knew how strong Naruto was, but wouldn't tell what he could do. Yeah, I did, but I was forbidden to tell, replied the pink-hair girl. But why? The young girl asked. Because the Hokage ordered me to tell both Sakura and Sasuke that they were forbidden to tell anyone, spoke Kakashi suddenly. Why that's? Kiba asked. He of course knew that Mokuton was a powerful bloodline limit, but he still couldn't understand why it was so important to keep it hidden until now. Because the Mokuton bloodline limit is one of the most revered bloodlines limits in the shinobi world. And now that Naruto has revealed he has the bloodline limit and can use it, many shinobi villages and other organizations will come after him, explained Kushina. I still don't get how it's so valuable, said Kiba. You forget one of the reasons why the Shodai Hokage was so powerful, was because of his Mokuton power. With it he became one of the strongest shinobi who has ever lived, if not the strongest. Many shinobi villages would fear that with Mokuton, Naruto could become just as powerful as his ancestor. Even if he doesn't, the fact he has Mokuton ability makes him a threat to them, thanks to its other ability. What other ability? Sakura asked. Mokuton has the unique ability to suppress the power of Biju, like the one that resides in Yugito-san, and control them, answered Yamato. Seriously? Asked Kiba in surprise. Yes. So does that mean that Naruto-kun can win? Hinata asked. Perhaps, but it would depend if he has the strength to use the technique I taught him and suppress the girl's Biju. In the arena, as Yugito continued dodging the multiple wood tentacles, she soon found herself surrounded by them, where they then converged on her from all sides. With no time to spare and nowhere else to run, Yugito quickly jumped into the air and onto the arena wall, channeling some of the Nibi's chakra to her feet, allowing her to stick to the wall and avoid the wooden tentacles. After Yugito jumped onto the wall, Naruto had his wooden tentacles follow after her, forcing the blonde girl to run and resulting in a chase along the arena wall, which forced Genma to move again. Is anywhere safe from these two? Genma asked himself, and he jumped back into the arena, which was now covered mostly in Naruto's long wooden tentacles. As Yugito ran around the arena wall doing her best to keep ahead of Naruto's tentacles, the blonde girl preformed several quick hand seals and thought Nezumi Kedama, and spat out a dozen flaming mice-shaped hairballs, hoping to hit Naruto, while he was busy trying to capture her with his wooden tentacles. But as flaming hairballs closed in on him, one of Naruto's clones that he created earlier intervened by stepping forward and creating a large wooden dome around them, protecting them from the flaming mice hairballs when they hit and exploded. When the explosion ended, the clone lowered the wooden dome where the second Naruto clone then did some hand seals and brought Hit's hand forward and yelled, Mokuton, Hiki no Toga, wood release, flying wood spikes. As soon as the clone yelled this, several small wooden spikes shot out from the palm of his hand in rapid succession and flew towards Yugito at high speed, who was still running around the arena wall trying to keep ahead of the wooden tentacles, which was made harder to avoid thanks to the wooden spikes which she also now had to dodge. Realizing that it was only a matter of time before she was hit or captured, Yugito decided to go on the offensive again. In an impressive feat of skill, Yugito caught one of the wooden spikes that the Naruto clone fired at her and threw it right back at the clone, hitting it right between the eyes and causing it to disappear in a puff of smoke. She then used the Nibi's chakra to help propel her forward into the arena, just as the wooden tentacles were about to capture her and fall straight for Naruto. But before she could reach him, Naruto's last remaining clone stepped between them and held up his arm and yelled, Banmachi Vine Whip. After which several vines sprung out from his arm and wrapped themselves around the blonde teen girl. What the hell? Yugito cried before the clone used the vines to slam her down onto the ground. Nibi, what the hell is going on? How the hell can Naruto create vines from his body? I don't know, this is new one to me as well, not even the boy's ancestor could do this, it's possible that his ability is more advanced than the Shodai Hokage's. Then again the bloodline limit may have just mutated with him, answered the cat Biju. But right now it doesn't matter, as you need to free yourself before you're captured. But before Yugito could even try and break free from the clone's vines, several wooden vines erupted from the ground underneath her and wrapped themselves tightly around her. Once Yugito was secured, Naruto cancelled his shadow clone and started forming 7 high-speed hand seals and gather most of his remaining chakra to preform one last technique. When he finished, Naruto held out his hand and said, Hokage Shiki Jijin Jutsu Kakun Nitten Sushu, Hokage style 60-year-old technique enclosed hermitage entering society with bliss-bringing hands. After which a symbol for sit appeared on the right palm of his hand, where he then raced over and touched the center of Yugito's chest with it and jumped back. As he jumped away, Naruto drew out a long line of blue chakra from the female Jinchuriki, connecting the two together. After jumping back, Naruto then his left hand touched the ground, where 10 large wooden pillars with spikes facing inward emerged around Yugito, surrounding her on all sides. Yugito, get out of there now! Roared the panicking cat demon. I know this technique, it's the same one that the Shodai Hokage used to capture the other Biju and me. I'm trying, yelled Yugito, as she struggled to break free of the wooden binds, which were extremely strong. I'm finishing this, Naruto shouted as he readied the technique, while also think, this has to work. In the cage box. That jutsu, it can't be, he couldn't have, said the Raikage, who recognized the technique Naruto was using from all the stories he had heard about the Shodai Hokage from his father, the Sandaime Raikage. It is, said the Mizukage in equal awe, even though this was the first time she had ever seen it with her own eyes. Like the Kumo cage, she had heard the stories of the famed founder of Konoha and the technique he used to tame and control the Biju. In the arena, once the wooden pillars surrounded Yugito, Naruto started channeling his chakra through the chakra link and into Yugito's body, where he started pushing the Nibi's chakra back into its seal. RRRAWWRRRR, cried Yugito in agony as Naruto began to suppress her Biju's chakra from her body. The process was of course very painful for Yugito, where she and the Nibi resisted it with everything they had, making it as difficult as possible for Naruto to suppress the Nibi's chakra, who was already struggling to suppress the Biju's chakra. As the battle for dominance continued, Naruto felt Yugito and the Nibi's resistance, where it was taking nearly everything he had to suppress just a third of the monster cat's power. There's no way in hell I'm going to lose this fight, I am going to win, no matter what, Naruto said inside his head, before shouting, I will not loossee, and sending every ounce of chakra he could spare into Yugito. But what Naruto didn't notice was that at the same time as he said this, the Shodai Hokage's necklace that around his neck began to glow bright green, where it reacted with his chakra, making it stronger. With the Shodai Hokage's necklace help, Naruto began to push the Nibi's chakra back further and further into its seal. At the same time the wooden pillars around Yugito began to close in on her. Watching from the stands, the entire audience watched in silent awe as they watched Naruto use one of the legendary techniques of his forefather to suppress the Nibi no Bakenoko chakra. Aaaggaaaa. Nibi, you need to help me, Yugito yelled inside her head as she tried to resist Naruto's chakra. I can't do this without you. I'm trying, his chakra, it's just too strong, said the Nibi, who starting to lose consciousness and was growing weaker and weaker by the second. No, we can still win, we can beat him, said Yugito as she tried to rally her partner, but was getting weaker herself. Yugito, I'm sorry, said the cat demon before finally losing conscious. After which Yugito let out one final cry of pain, as the last of the Nibi's chakra finally faded back into its seal and the wooden pillars around her closed in right on top of her. End Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood OST3 The Intrepid. Once the all of the Nibi's chakra had been suppressed, Naruto fell to his knees panting and sweating heavily. Man, pant, that was a lot harder than training, pant, said Naruto, as he tried to catch his breath. After a minute or so Naruto formed a single hand seal and used what little strength he had left and had the wooden pillars around Yugito pull back. When the pillars moved away, Yugito became visible and was lying on her back, barely conscious and unable to move. At the same time Genma made his way over to the two genin, leaping over the large wooden tentacles that were covering most of the destroyed arena. When he saw the kneeling and panting Naruto and the restrained Yugito, he knew that the battle was finally over. Ni Yugito of Kumo is unable to continue battling. This battle is over, Genma declared as he shouted to the audience. The winner is Senju Naruto of Konoha. That will be it for this video. If you want more, comment down below, like, subscribe, and see you guys later.